All right, our problem is we're going to be focusing on CATA, specifically scheduling, the dispatchers, the bus drivers, how they interact with the students themselves, and the maintenance of. All right, so to figure out what type of problem specifically we need to look at for CATA, we interviewed a grad student, undergrad student, a senior specifically, a bus driver, and we got some information from a CATA dispatcher.
Did you want more bus stops around campus if they could?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think there's some stops that could be added along the campus as well as downtown area.
Have you ever been late for class because the bus was running late?
All the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
What's your opinion of bus schedule? Do you think they could improve it in some way?
Yeah, I think they could improve, especially sometimes for especially loops, they're just waiting on a stop and not really going where they can keep it on schedule. So I think they could do a better job. Especially when they do have to wait, they go to the next stop and it's like a whole bunch of people coming on, becomes jam-packed, so they can do a better job of spacing.
Would you want more bus stops around campus if they could make some?
There are definitely some spots where there are some that are like really close together and it doesn't seem to make sense, and then there are some that are really far apart. So I think, and not necessarily more, but the spacing I think could be better.
How full are the buses when you take them usually?
The loops are generally very full when I take them, especially around class time. There's a lot of jostling that goes on, especially on the back of the bus. It's not very fun.
Opinion of the bus schedule. Do you think it could be improved in any way?
I think most of the time I'm taking the loops, and so I think they end up, sometimes running too few, especially on the weekends. I think there's a problem with that sometimes, and so, or they get backed up and there's like one on top of the other. So I don't know how much they could fix that, but it would be nice to not all of a sudden see all the buses on one side of
What problems do you face while driving the bus? Like students, weather, traffic?
Students, weather, traffic. New people coming on don't know what the fare is. People trying to get to work and other people's holding the bus up because they can't find their pass and stuff like that. Typical day.
Do you eat your lunch while on the bus while driving, or do you like have a certain break time where you can stop and eat lunch?
Well, we get a break. Sometimes the break's on the bus or sometimes it's in a car. But you don't have to stay there. You can go get something else to eat, but we really don't have a lot of time to go get something to eat.
All right, so we interviewed a dispatcher, and she sent us a list of answers to the possible questions we had for. One of the questions we had was, who makes the dispatch schedule? This is entirely done by their dispatch team, so she's not really involved. It can change several times a day, and a lot of it is determined by their contract with their union. Then we went on to ask what was the most difficult part of her job, and it would be the scheduling specifically. There are a lot of moving parts, and it's really hard, and they need to multitask. And our last question was, do they plan on adding more stops or routes for the buses? And they said right now we are looking at service enhancements, but no new routes. All right, so it looks like the common thread throughout the interviews was that there seems to be some type of scheduling error. We're not sure what it is, but there is one. It makes people late. The buses bunch up. It seems like there can be a lot more stops throughout the route. And the students, it really hasn't changed throughout for the students. We asked the undergrad and the grad student, and it looks like the scheduling in the buses system hasn't changed at all. So good luck figuring out what you need to do.